everyone, this is Providencia. Welcome to my channel. I am here to do a pork chop video. Fried pork chop, chuletas fritas. I do have a recipe on how I make my fried pork chops in my channel. However, that video is like 5 or 6 years old. The quality is bad. You could tell that I'm not that I'm not myself, but you could tell that I'm very like the way now how I am now, that if I make a mistake I laugh about it, you know, like, you know how it is, because I just started doing YouTube around that time, so I was really timid. Now I'm like, whatever. Like, I make a mistake, yeah. That video is old. I also made a few changes on how I used to make my pork chops then and how I make it now. So I was like, you know what, I do gotta upload a pork chop video one of these days, and today was the day. Okay, I have 2 packs of pork chops here. It's a lot of pork chops here because I do have my son's girlfriend here, and this is a big family anyway, but his girlfriend is here, and I also like to send food to her mother when she goes back home. You know, that's the way I am. I love to feed everybody. So I was like, I'm gonna make the pork chop video today. This was unplanned. I did not plan to do this video today, so you guys better be happy that I did this video, because lately I just been recording without planning. Like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna cook today, and I'm gonna just do a come cook with me video. Ooh, let me just do a recipe on this, you know, because ain't nothing to do. We're in quarantine here, so let me just record. So that's basically what's going on. I already cleaned my meat, alright, as you can see. Now, usually, if I have a video that's already planned, you will see me cleaning my meats. If you want to clean your meat very good, please make sure that you clean it with cold water, and make sure you clean it with lemon, lime, or vinegar. If you watch my other videos, you will see that's how I do it. But I didn't show you that part because, like I said, this was not planned. Let me give you the ingredients right now. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope your family is doing well. I hope you guys are staying home and being safe with everything that's going on around the world. You know what? Let's not even think about that. Let's go to a happy moment, which is cooking. You know, everybody be happy when it's food and cooking involved. So let's switch up the energy and let's just think happy moments today. Let's just be happy today. And yeah, that's the way it is. But anyhow, I have right here some vegetable oil. You could use corn oil for this recipe. We are going to fry them. Now, you definitely do not have to fry this. You could definitely season it up the way I'm doing it now, and you could bake it in the oven, okay? I'm gonna see, maybe one day I do a recipe on pork chops in the oven with some nice vinegary kind of onions right on the top. It is so good. That's just for a healthier like alternative if you do not want to fry the pork chops. Also, you could use the air fryer. I have done my pork chops just like this, and I have done it in the air fryer, and you could also do it that way as well. You do not have to deep fry it, but let me tell you, it tastes so good when it's nice and fried. I'm sorry, it's the truth. But anyhow, we are definitely gonna use this. This is like a marinade, and it consists on, you know, naranja agria, which is sour oranges. And this is really good. You can find this in your local Spanish supermarket. That's why I'm showing it to you, in case you want to take a picture of it. And you can see how it looks. Definitely going to need this. This marinate your pork chops really good. Also, we're going to be using this one right here. This is the green top Goya adobo with cumin. Now, you could definitely use any of these adobos here. This is the lemon one. I'm sorry. This is the lemon one. This is the one without pepper. The red one is the one with pepper. Each one is a different flavor. Now, I'm going to also show you this one. If you really ask me, I think you should use this one. This is the orange one. This is bitter orange because this is going to be more like orangey kind of. If you want, you could use it with this one. I will highly recommend to use this one. This is the orange one, and this is for bitter orange. This is how I usually do it when it comes to this recipe. But as you can see, there ain't no more in here, and I try to find it and they don't have it. So if you could try to find this one, by all means, I think you should really use it with this. It tastes really good. But since I don't, since it's finished, I'm gonna use this one, the one with the cumin. You're gonna need onion powder. You're gonna need black pepper, any black pepper that you have. You're gonna need some oregano. This is optional, but I am gonna add it. I am gonna add this. This is cilantro leaves. This is like dried. So if you have this, add it. If you don't have it, it's all good. You do not have to add it. You can add everything else except for this, all right? But I am gonna add it to add like a little kick of cilantro to this, all right? I'm gonna add 2 packets of sazon. This, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier. This is 2 packs, and it's a pack of, it comes like 6 or 7 pork chops. So I am gonna use 1 for each. I also have some oranges here. Yes, I do. And you're gonna need at least 2 to 3 oranges for this recipe. We are going to use something like this. It's a grater, and we are gonna use like the skin for the oranges to give it a more orangey kind of flavor to it. And we're also gonna squeeze out the juice from these oranges, all right? And last, we are gonna need garlic powder. Now, in my videos, I'm all about you using fresh garlic, with your recipes and all that other stuff. But in this case, you do not want to add fresh garlic. Now, if you have no choice to use it and you don't have garlic powder, then hey, you got to do what you got to do. But I will highly recommend for you to use garlic powder, because when you have fresh garlic, and I used to do this mistake years ago, when you use fresh garlic, what happens is when you're frying the pork chops, especially if you're frying a whole bunch like the way I'm doing today, that that garlic that's in your pork chops, some of them end up falling out of your pork chops, and it ends up burning, and then your oil be a mess, okay, because of all the pork chops that you're frying from the pork chop that you fried before that one. That garlic that is in the oil is burning, and then it's just no good. That's why I highly recommend you use garlic powder, because there's gonna be like some fresh garlic particles that is gonna burn in your oil, and you don't want that, okay? It's gonna mess up your oil. It's gonna make it black. It's just gonna be a hot mess. So please use garlic powder. I am going to make this right now. It is 2 o'clock, and I'm most likely going to cook around like 4 or 5. So this is gonna be in the refrigerator, and it's gonna marinate for 2-3 hours. It's good to do that, for that way your pork chops could taste very good. If you could try to do it overnight, even better. But I'm gonna season it now, for that way I can leave it there for 2-3 hours in the refrigerator, and then I'm gonna cook. I'm making plátanos. I am making yellow rice with corn. I'm making beans. I don't know what type of beans I'm gonna make. I gotta look in my pantry. I'm gonna make some corn muffin. My kids love when I make corn muffin with the food. I mean, I know that's not typically Puerto Rican when you're with a meal like this, but they like it. So I'm gonna make corn muffin, and I got avocado over there, and yeah, that's what I'm gonna make today for dinner. So like I said, this is clean. Let's go and start doing this recipe. First and foremost, when you clean your meat, and make sure you clean it very well, make sure you either add a little bit of water in there, because we're gonna also use some of that meat to do a marinade. So as you can see, there's a little bit of water in there. Make sure your water is clean, and make sure your meat is clean, most definitely. Okay, you're probably not gonna see me do it this side, but I'm gonna do it this side. As you can see, I'm trying to separate them, for that way each and every pork chop could get flavored, all right, and seasoned, well seasoned. So we are going to season this up. I am going to use 1 packet of sazon. All right, and I'm just gonna sprinkle this pack for one side, and I'm gonna try to do the other side. The reason why I like to separate them is because I want to make sure all of my pork chops are seasoned. I cannot stand when there's like a bundle, like just all together full of pork chops, and people just do this, and then like all the other meats in the bottom didn't season. That's why I like to separate them. I'm making sure all of it gets seasoned all at once. Next, we're gonna add some adobo. Please be light with this. You want to add a decent amount, but you don't want to go overboard because this will salt up your whole thing, okay? That is why I always use just 1 packet of sazon, because, you know, I don't want this to be too salty. So just try to just sprinkle it, you know, like this. Make sure you go into all the meats and just make sure it's like just sprinkle like that. And we're gonna do that on the other side as well. Next, we're gonna add some onion powder. Come on, autofocus. That's what we're gonna add. You can add as little as much as you want because this is not onion salt. It's not gonna salt up your pork chop. If anything, it's just gonna give it that onion flavor. But if you got onion salt, please be light. You don't want this to be salty. We're gonna add garlic powder. Again, you can add as little as much as you want. I love a lot of garlic powder in my pork chops. But if you have garlic salt, like I said, don't add too much because it got salt, and you can salt up all this right here going on. Now we already got the sazon and adobo. We don't need this more salty, okay? So black pepper to your liking. We're gonna add some dried cilantro leaves, but like I said, this is optional. I know this is kind of very hard to find, but if you can't find it, that's fine. Okay, so I'm just letting you guys know. By the way, if you cannot find no cilantro leaves, don't try to put the fresh one, because like I just finished telling you about the garlic, the fresh garlic, it will go on your oil, it's gonna fry, and it's just, you know, when you put the next batch to fry, all the other ones that was there from the previous meat that was frying before, it's gonna get more fried, it's gonna be burnt, it's just gonna be a hot mess. Okay, so if you cannot find it, you know, don't kill yourself trying to find it. I mean, if you can find it, fine, but if you don't, that's also fine as well, you know. If not, then if you want to substitute, you could substitute it with parsley, dried parsley flakes. You could definitely do it that way as well. We're gonna add some oregano. You can add as little as much as you want or to your liking. We are gonna add, sorry, gotta autofocus it. We are gonna add some of this marinade. Make sure you shake it well. You could add as little as much as you want, really, to be honest with you. So just try to make sure you add a, you know, a little decent amount. I'm just gonna just go like this, you know. Wait a minute, let me see if you can see that. This is how much I'm adding. We are gonna add a little bit of water here as well. So just, you know, add a decent amount, but don't go like filling it up, you know, this whole bottle of marinade, you know what I'm saying, to the top. Okay, now what you want to do is, before you cut it and, you know, squeeze out you know, the juice from it, you're gonna want to use a grater. All right, now don't keep doing like this, because you don't want the white part of this orange. I'm gonna give you an example. You want something like this. I don't know if you can see it because I don't have the light over me on. You want it like this. Keep going around, you know, and just tap it, and just try to get the skin. All right, now I shouldn't be doing it in this video, but I'm gonna do it anyway. What you don't want to do is this, and make sure that it's too white. All right, because that's disgusting. You only want the skin. All right, you're not supposed to do that. I just did it because I want to show it to you. Just the skin, and that's it. You don't want to, make sure you keep turning. Every time you do that, you turn and you turn and you turn. All right, until you use as much skin as you want. All right, I did that with a full orange. Let me see if I could try to still get a little bit of skin in certain parts. See, I'm doing it only once, and that's what you want. Okay, don't worry. I mean, this is just for flavor, and you know, you're not gonna eat the pork chop and see bits of skin into the pork chops. No, that's not the way it works. All right, it's gonna cook, and you're not even gonna tell that it's like, you know, the skin in there. I have to like explain it like that for people that don't understand. Okay, as you can see, I don't know if you can notice right here, that is all the skin from the orange. It cooks, and it's not like it be, you know, you're gonna even notice. It's gonna taste really, really good. And I'm gonna do this one right here for you can see it. That one is seasoned as well, those pork chops. I'm gonna do this one. Okay, all right, so we did the marinade. You see how all that onion, the zest of the onion is there, not the onion, the orange is there. That's what you want. Okay, so now we got our pork chops here. I only use 1 orange per, you know, per pack. All right, I didn't zest this one. Okay, just letting you know. Now what you're gonna want to do is, all right, what you're gonna need is, where is it at? I mean, these are a little bit small for like the size of the orange, but that's okay. If you got a big one like that, then just break it in half and just squeeze one in each. But I am gonna cut them into 4s because mine is a little small. You know, sometimes you gotta work with what you have. So you could use your hands and just do it like that, but you know, I want to be fancy, so I'm trying to do it like this, and lazy too. So this is what you're gonna want to do. These pork chops are gonna taste so good, you don't understand. Then with this one right here, I'm gonna cut it in half, and I'm gonna squeeze half in here and squeeze half in this one. So you want to use an orange and a half to squeeze it. So zest out 1 orange into each, but you're gonna squeeze out an orange and a half for each, if it makes any sense. Okay, so I have a cup of water right here. Yes, this is my favorite coffee cup. That's right. I even forgot who gave me this, and I've had this cup for like 5 or 6 years, but I treasure this cup right here. I don't know who gave it to me. Till this day, I'm really like, sometimes think like, who gave me this cup? I don't know who gave it to me. But anyhow, this is my favorite coffee cup. So you want to get a cup. Since I am doing 2 packs, I am going to put half of water in there. and half of the water in there. Well, about half. Okay, I left a little bit in there, right? We are going to mix this all up. Don't worry, it will be fast forwarded. I know people like, they're very like, oh my god, she's mixing that in front of a camera. Meat? Oh my goodness, why she didn't do it off camera? No, I'm not gonna do it off camera. I'm sorry. I like to show everything from the beginning to the very end. So we are going to mix this up. Okay, you guys, I am going to add a little bit of adobo because I feel like it needs it, you know. I know it's just a thing with me. I could just tell just by mixing it that I know it needs a little bit of adobo. So I am gonna add this. Also, if you want, you can add sofrito to this, like a spoon or two of sofrito in each. Sometimes I do it with the sofrito, sometimes I don't, you know. And regardless, my pork chops always end up still tasting really, really good. I'm sprinkling, don't think I'm adding too much. And so, but if you have sofrito, I have sofrito in my refrigerator. You definitely could add a spoon or two of sofrito. I'm gonna leave that link to my sofrito in the description box below. But since I'm using the orange marinade, I didn't want to use the sofrito. But you could if you want. I've done it both ways. So just letting you guys know. I believe in the other video that I just finished telling you about, my other old pork chop video, I believe that one I did add it sofrito to it. So I'm gonna leave that link as well below. So if you want to sprinkle a little bit more once you finish mixing all of this up, you definitely can just sprinkle a little bit more. All right, this is what we're gonna do right now. Let me see. Give me 1 minute while I think of something. Hold on. All right, so I am gonna put it together just for now. You don't need to do all of this, but me, I'm all about the pretty. I'm sorry. I am. I know. You do not have to do none of this that I'm doing here, but I do take pictures of everything, and everything gotta look nice. I'm gonna put everything into one bowl. All right. So I like to lay it flat. And then, see how beautiful that looks? And then with the juice right here, don't throw it away. We are going to pour all of this on top of this. It's gonna be nicely, beautifully marinated in here. I'm gonna add just a tad of water just to grab all of what's in there, okay? Voila. Okay, shake it up a little bit because we just added a little bit of water, okay? All right, let me put a close-up. And here it is. My nice, delicious, seasoned pork chops. Look at all that yummy marinade in there. Oh, that is going to make these pork chops so good. Now, it's good to do it 2, 3, 4 hours, or how many hours in advance. I wouldn't really recommend to do this, like season it there and then fry it. I mean, it's gonna taste good, but it's always good to, like, you know, season it and then like in a few hours cook it. It's even better if you do it, like, let's say season it in the nighttime, and then the next day when you decide to make this, even better, you would tell a great difference in the flavors. So I'm just letting you guys know. Now, hey, if you're in a rush to cook and you have to do it right there and then just, you know, fry it, that's different, you know. But I really would recommend that you try to marinate this for like at least a few hours, or, you know, in the nighttime to the next day. All right, so this is how it looks. Just showing it to you. These pork chops are so good. Oh my goodness. Okay, guys. So I am going to put the top to this, put it in the refrigerator, and like maybe in 2 to 3 hours, I am going to start cooking. I'm definitely going to show you a little bit of light cooking in this video, but you already know the recipe is on the pork chops. So we'll be back later.
Lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds jumping and I hear my name, grasping into a life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a strive. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a ride. Savannah. Lions gonna come. The birds have just begun. We will always take a stand for the people, for the land. Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to when trees were swung. Kids across the land. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a ride. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. banana.
So right now I am making the rice. I'm not too sure if I mentioned what type of rice I was gonna make. I don't know if I said that I was gonna make rice with, you know, with beans or yellow rice with corn, or yellow rice with vegetables. I have a lot of stuff in my head, but however, I am making this with vegetables. I do got a recipe on how to make this recipe in my channel, but you know, every time I do cook, I always switch it up a little bit, you know, because it also depends on what you're working with in your home. But any useful links or anything that you're gonna see in this video, it's gonna be down in the description box below, okay? Like the plantains, I know I'm gonna make it later on. I'm gonna leave that below. I'm not too sure if I have a recipe on how to make my gandules, habichuelas de gandules. If I do have one, because I do got like over 600 videos, I'll see if I'll leave it below. I'm gonna taste a little bit because I want to see how it tastes before this dries out even more. Oh my goodness. Yes, I am gonna add a little bit of adobo. It got a really good taste, but you know, it needs a little salt, but I'm not adding no salt. I'm just gonna add a little bit of adobo. Okay, that should be enough. All right. It tastes so good, and it is drying up right now. So, all right. So I'm gonna taste it just a little bit more again. And I am cooking with medium grain rice. I used to cook a lot with long grain rice, but now I don't. It's not because I don't like it anymore or whatever. I just like medium grain rice, and I just like the way the rice is, the way the rice tastes, and to me, I think it's more fluffier. I don't know. Perfect. I'm gonna add maybe a little bit more water to this, because with medium grain rice, I noticed you do gotta add a little bit more water to medium grain rice than you would with the long grain rice, because I don't know, that's just my opinion. And I always add a little bit more, and it comes out perfect all the time. Because when I try to do it in the ratio that I would have, like I used to do it with the long grain rice, it used to come out a little bit hard. I mean, it was a little bit hard, or just wasn't that fluffy. So I kind of, mastered it on my own, and just, since I add a little bit more water, it comes out just perfect every time. It all depends also what kind of rice you buy, like the brand. This is called Rico, and I bought mine at Save-A-Lot. So you probably buy Canilla or the Goya one. It all depends. So I'm gonna let this dry out, and then we're gonna go back to the beans.
Puerto Rico. Esta bomba yo la dedico a toda mi gente de Puerto Rico, a la familia Fontanet allá en Cupe Alto y Lo Mejía en Vega Baja. ¡Que gocen! ¡Sí! Bomba, bomba, para siempre. Bomba, bomba está presente, aquí lo canta mi gente. Bomba, bomba, para siempre. Baila, baila y goza, mi bomba puertorriqueña. Bomba, 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 para siempre.
Okay, so I'm frying a lot of plantains, as you saw, because I am going to freeze them. Just keeping an eye on that. And I am gonna taste these beans again. Okay, just in case anybody want to see behind the scene, these beans are so freaking good. You do not understand. All right, so what you want to do from this point on is remove the pepper and the cilantro, because all the flavor is already in there, and onions. If you want to leave it there, you can, but I'm gonna remove them all out. And you could throw it away. All right, now if you want to leave it in your beans, that's fine, but it's totally up to you. Okay, I'm probably gonna give this another maybe 5 minutes to thicken up a little bit more, and then I'm gonna push it to the side. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring out my cast iron, and I am gonna start doing the pork chops. I like to do the pork chops a little bit towards the very end, because all of this could come together and the pork chops don't get cold while everything else is cooking. So by the time this finished, pork chops should be good and ready. Okay, so 5 more minutes to the beans. I'm gonna keep frying my plantains. I'm gonna fry some today and then freeze the rest, as I stated earlier. Well, I don't know if I stated it earlier, but yeah, I am gonna freeze some of this. I'm gonna show you what I mean by that, just in case, because I got so much on my mind, guys. Like this whole thing with, you know, I ain't gonna mention the name because we're not allowed to say it on YouTube. You know, not that we're not allowed, but they won't monetize our videos if we mention it, you know? I don't know if you guys are aware of that. But I am so sick, you know, of this already, you know? People are, oh, I don't even want to talk about it for real. So I've been like really overly stressed. And I'm overly stressed because, you know, I got family in New York. I live in Connecticut, and even the numbers in Connecticut is rising. And, you know, I gotta worry about my family, you know, because the cases over there is by the bunch. Over here is rising, but it ain't like New York. And I gotta worry about my family. So I've been like a little sad about that. That was probably another reason why I decided to go and I'm frying more plantains. I decided to go and just do a video. I've been trying to do videos and upload videos just to keep my mind off of it, not to make my brains crazy, you know, and overthink too much and over worry too much. And that's what it is. Okay, so sorry if you hear a lot of noise above. That's my grandkids' room, and you know how that goes. So, alright, so there's like probably 1 or 2 stems of cilantro, but that's okay. Alright, when this thicken up a little bit, I'm gonna show it to you guys, okay? At the last minute, I decided to put a little bit of this. This is like a full coloring. It's called mija. And yeah, when it comes to my gandules, when I make my habichuela de gandule, I really just I don't want that red kind of sauce with tomato sauce kind of look to it. I want it very natural and, you know, sort of like a nice beige color. I only put a little bit just to color it up just a tad. All right, you don't want to add like a can of tomato sauce. That's why that's why I added the flour, you know, for it to thicken up. All right, but add a little bit of biha. All right, and or if you are, maybe just maybe a small teaspoon of tomato paste. This is the way I do it, you know. Now my other beans, yes, I use tomato sauce, tomato paste. I like that nice reddish kind of color to it. But with my gandules, I like it to be like in between, like beige and maybe just with a little hint of color. All right, so this is the way to go. If you cannot find this in your Spanish supermarket, you definitely can order it on Amazon. So I'm just letting you guys know. So like maybe 5 more minutes here, and then I'm gonna push it aside and I'm gonna put my skillet. Okay, my skillet is there. It has oil. I'm just letting it get hot for, you know, ready to fry. And I want to show you the plantains. Wow. It's a lot of work, but the video that I did of how to freeze your plantains, so you got to check that video out. I did way more than this. This is nothing. All right, this is the last batch right here. I'm just waiting for these to cool down because I want to put them in Ziploc bags, or you can put them into sandwich bags. See, this is one right here. These are frozen. All right, I just took this out of my freezer. And considering with everything that's going on around the world where you can't find certain things, certain items, I've been freezing vegetables, I've been freezing my plantains, I've been freezing basically almost everything to, to let it last a little longer. And yeah, these are the frozen ones. I know you guys are like, but why didn't you just use these and you wanted to make more? Yes, I wanted to make more because it's very hard to find plantains now. Well, to me, in my part of Connecticut. And when I do see them, I take advantage and I grab it, for I can freeze them because it's very hard to find. I do have some plantains aside because tomorrow I want to make some mangú and salami, queso, and all that other stuff. Yeah, I got videos on that, so it'll be in the description box below. And also, I'm gonna let some of them ripen a little bit for it to get sweet, and I could have it sometime this week. A little sweet plátano maduros. All right, so I'm gonna put this back, and we're gonna start frying up our. All right, I just took the plastic, the aluminum foil. All right, thank you. I'm gonna turn it. Move it at this point, and we are gonna let it cook for another like maybe 5-7 minutes. I made a lot. All right, so try to grab it from the bottom and work your way up. It's funny because my son, I just heard him right now saying, we always talk about, I wish I could stay home, I wish I could stay home. But now staying home, now I realize it's boring. I started laughing here in the kitchen. Like, kids always want to stay home from school. But now that they're actually home from school, now they want to go back to school, okay? Yeah. Ain't that something, right? All right, you guys. I'm going to cover this up. And we're going to cook it for like maybe 5 to 7 minutes. Okay, so I'm ready to fry my pork chops again. Let me show it to you. I don't want to drop it. Yes. And it's been marinating for at least 3 hours. We are going to start frying these. Oh my gosh. Did you hear that beautiful symphony? Yes. I love this cast iron. My mother gave it to me when she came here for my birthday. And I could say so much pork chops. I'm smelling it. It smells like straight orange. I'm smelling it. And let it cook a little bit. Oh my God, it smells so good as soon as it hits the pan. Alright. Now you want to do the pork chops in medium-high heat. In case, you know, I know people have common sense to do that. But there are people that, you know, maybe don't know. So it's always good to let them know. You don't have to, like, you know, I didn't know it was autofocusing right now. But anyhow, let me go back to what I was saying. Some people don't know, you know, so that's why I'm so detailed in this video, because there is some people that don't know, you know, these type of stuff, how many, like the temperature and all that stuff. See, we know, like, especially if you're advanced in cooking, we know, but there's people out there that don't know. Alright, so I like to cook it just a little bit, and then I flip it very quickly. Alright, and I do that for that way it don't curl up too much. Some people, they cut it with scissors or like a knife, or they just cut like a little bit of the tip right here. I do that, but the most, you know, for the most part, I do it like this. I just flip it real quick before it starts curling up. Alright, and now from there, I'm gonna just let it cook. And I got a plate and I put some paper towels, so when I'm ready to take these out, it'll soak it all up, or you know, all the excess grease and stuff. Like I said, you could put this in the oven just like that and just throw all the juice into a pan, or you could do it in your air fryer. I am gonna try to do some pork chops in the oven, but with like some nice vinaigrette kind of onions, and it is so good. I'm gonna see if I could try to do it sometime next week, because we love pork chops. I don't know if you noticed that. I'm sure people have, but we love pork chops. We eat it at least once a week, but for the most part we eat beef. We eat mostly chicken, because that's like the cheapest, you know, go-to, you know, meat. But we like pork chops, you know. So yeah. And the beans are towards the back right there. And yep, let this fry, baby. Okay, there are some of them that I am going to cook a little darker than others. Me personally, this is more or less the color that I like my pork chops. My kids, they like it a little bit, you know, more browner. You know, it all depends how you like your meats. So some of them I'm gonna do, like you see, like this one right here. I like it like that. I know it's weird, but I do. I like it like that. As far as like the other ones that I'm gonna like overcook, like this color, like this one more or less. But there are some that I'm gonna cook a little darker than others because my kids like it like that. They don't like it too light. You know, they want it like, you know, they be like, I want it a little burnt. I don't know why they say it like that, but that's how they like it. They like it a little bit more brown. So I'm gonna do it just like that. I'm about to take these out. When I leave some of these, I'll probably take this one out. All right, and just so you can see it. Ooh, almost burned myself. Yeah, y'all ain't see that. And you can see it from this angle too. I want to burn myself and, you know, showing you guys, but I want to show it to you. Okay, what's going on? Maybe it's the way I'm doing the angle. Hold on. You don't want to burn yourself either. Okay, come on, autofocus. There you go. We'll put it on the paper plate. I'm definitely going to show it to you once it's there. And I'll leave that for a few more seconds. Oh, you don't understand. My pork chops. Everybody loves my pork chops. You see, like this one I'll probably give to one of my kids. But that's how they like it. With a little bit of, you know, crispy and, you know, around the bones and all that stuff. It all depends how you like it. And there you go. Waiting a few seconds. Okay, this could wait a few more seconds. I could take this one out. Yep. There you go. I'm definitely going to show it to you once I put those in the plate. This one I could take it out. My kids will definitely eat this one. That's a little burnt for me, or a little brown for my liking. And this one I'm gonna take out. So I'm gonna put more, and I'm gonna show you those pork chops. This is the corn muffin I made. It's been cooling. I'm gonna do a recipe on this. I got like a nice shortcut on how to make some corn muffins. Ooh. And it's from a Jiffy box, but believe me, everybody that tastes this be like, oh my God, is this homemade? How did you make this? So I'm definitely gonna do it for you. Could fool everybody into making you did it homemade. That's right. Okay. Shortcut, not a lot of time, but it still tastes good, just like you made it homemade from scratch. I got my limes there. No, my lemons there. That's gonna be, you know, how I plate my food. You guys should know. And if you don't know and you're watching it for the first time, check out my videos. And these already cooled down. So I got my bags here, and I'm gonna start putting them in Ziploc bags, and some I'm gonna definitely fry. As you can see, I put them into baggies. I made 4.5 bundles. So you can see it, and I'm gonna pop these in the freezer. And I just put these there. They're not fried completely yet, but I don't want to move them either. You know, I like to make sure it cooks really, really good. And then I flip them and all that stuff. So that's what we got going on here. Also, here is the pork chop. Come on, autofocus. Right here. And let me just handle it like out of the way. Move out of the way. We want to see some pork chops. And these are my beautiful pork chops right here. And that's what we got going on here. Alright. And yeah, So let me finish doing what I gotta do because everybody's hungry. So here's the recipe to my pork chops. Look at how beautiful this is. This is more or less how I like it. My kids like it a little bit like on this side, but I want to show you a little bit of like a comparison. Alright. But like I said, you could cook it whichever way you want. This is the way I like mine. I like mine a little light. My kids like it like this. Sometimes even a little darker than that. That's to everybody's, you know, liking. I got some lemons here. I did make my rice ball really beautiful, but for some reason I can't find the one I usually you know use to make my ball, you know, the rice look nice like a shape of a ball. I couldn't find it, so I used something else, and look what happened. My rice just, you know, well, this side is nice, but the other side, it broke apart right here, as you can see right here. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to find that tomorrow or today, I don't know. And some corn muffin, some nice delicious avocado, nice and thinly sliced. Some plantains, even though the kids left me with the little ones, but it's all right. I'll eat the little ones. And some gandule beans, habichuela de gandule. All right, those beans are really good. My son's girlfriend, she ate twice.
I ate the whole plate.
She ate the whole plate, and she ate a big plate. Let me tell you. I'm not saying it in a funny way, but it's that in the beginning she didn't really eat a lot. Like she used to have us. She used to have us like she used to eat small portions. Now she don't care. She's like, I'm hungry. She's putting it all in a plate. All right, and she ate it all. She ate a big plate, and she ate twice beans. What you ate it? You had it with a little bit more rice, or you just had it with the same rice and you just added more beans?
I just added more beans because it tastes so good together.
Yeah, she loves the gandule beans that I be making. So this is it. Now you can make this in the comfort of your own home. I'm trying to face the pork chops because that is really annoying me. The rice. Oh my God, I can't believe my perfect rice ball just got destroyed. Oh, things like that bothers me when it comes to plating. Like you just messed up my whole plate, you know. But at the end of the day, it don't matter, you know. I'm still gonna eat this, and that's it. But I do like to take pictures, and that's why it's very important for me to have it real nice and neat. So this is the entire plate. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. Take care. God bless. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.